Hey everybody, it's Sean. To call this a special edition video would be an understatement, to be sure. I am in a... No, never mind. Hello dear friends, and welcome to Masterpiece Theatre. No, hey guys, and welcome to the latest edition of Almost Interesting. I do find it a little, well, interesting that this vlog, which was once my primary video, has gotten somewhat irregular, and the Power Rangers review video series that I said I was going to just try out has become my most regular set of videos. But, oh well. I am still thinking over the schedule of how things go, but I haven't quite figured that out yet. The first clip obviously gives you some idea of what this is about, or at least some clues, so let me tell you a story. Everybody tucked in and comfortable? Alright, here we go. It was Halloween night. Well, sort of. It was 3:30 a.m., so technically very early on the morning of November 1st, but I hadn't gone to bed yet, so it was still Halloween to me. I was sitting in the living room working on a video, I think it was, and besides our herd of cats, I was alone. My parents were on vacation, so I was holding things down here. Now, it was not raining. There was no lightning or thunder. The only unusual weather is that it was a bit windy. So imagine my surprise when the power went out. So it's 3:30 in the morning, still Halloween in my mind, and now it's completely dark. I know where the flashlight is, so I run and grab that, and then I check the breaker box. Everything was fine there. I went out in the backyard and checked the street light we have out there. Yeah, we have a street light in our backyard. Don't ask, there's no street out there. And that was out as well. So I went out the front door to check the other houses on the street like you do, but nobody on the street had power. We have only like 2 street lights on our section of the road, and both of those were out too. And it was a rather overcast Halloween night, so it was just pitch freaking black. As a matter of fact, this gave me a new understanding for the term pitch black. It was so dark that it was almost physical. The darkness was like something I was wading through. There was just no light. But that wasn't even the worst part. I'm not terribly fond of the dark, but I've gotten over that childhood fear that we all had at one time or another. No, what disturbed me more was being cut off. I have this comfort in being connected. Television, internet, just knowing what's going on in the outside world. Maybe it's a part of my journalism training. Really, it was both of those combined together. It was late Halloween night, there was hardly any light, and I was completely cut off from the outside world. Was it just a normal blackout caused by the wind? Probably, but when you don't have any way to prove that, your mind goes all sorts of places, from natural disasters to supernatural situations. And no, I do not own a smartphone. I know, how am I even alive, right? But yeah, that wasn't there to help me either. Now, as you saw in the first clip, I started to record a video while this was going on when the power came back on. I never did find out what happened, but hey, it was fixed quickly. My plan, if it hadn't come back, was to record the video, talk about what I was feeling, kind of like I am right now, and then go to bed with my laptop and hope that the power was back on when I woke back up. But thankfully, that wasn't necessary. It was just kind of eye-opening, the things that I was feeling. My heart rate went up, I got nervous, intense. It just goes to show how we've gotten so dependent, to various extents, yes, on electricity. I went from being perfectly quiet and content to nervous, tense, even a little scared. And the only change was subtracting the electricity. Well, believe it or not, that's going to wrap up that story. I guess I didn't have as much to say about that as I thought I would, but it was just really eye-opening and I think significant enough that I wanted to get it on film and talk to you guys about it and have that as even a memory for myself down the road. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is this sticker you can see on my shirt. Let me give you a better look at it. Yep, that's right. I'm a Georgia voter. This video is being recorded at about 3 a.m. on November 5th because, as I established earlier, I tend to work on videos really late at night. But that means that this day that I'm still going through before going to bed was November 4th, and in the United States that was Election Day. Now, this wasn't a presidential election, but it was what we call, just in case you're from the United States and you don't really understand our political system, it's what we call a midterm election. We have various governors, leaders of states being elected, members of our two congressional houses, the House of Representatives and the Senate, up for election. There were various state constitutional amendments and ballot measures and things of that nature. So even though it wasn't a presidential election, it was still quite important. I'm a big believer in the political process and the importance and responsibility of citizens to get out there and go vote. You know, some people consider this cheesy, but I really don't. The fact that we have the freedom and the ability to influence in any way the direction of our country, in our case by the election of our representatives, is something very important. It's something that men and women throughout history have fought in wars and battles to protect. Our right to determine our own direction of our country. So many people around the world do not have that democratic freedom that we have, so I feel that it's important to exercise it. That being said, I don't feel that it is appropriate for me to share how I voted and my political stances and things like that. If that was something that a lot of people were curious about, I could possibly make a video about that, but politics tend to engender a lot of resentment and a lot of division. Even if you're really good friends with somebody, finding out that they're a Republican and you're a Democrat or vice versa can be really divisive. Really big important issues of life that they tend to be split on, and just a lot of rah 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 rah, and that's not what I want here. Suffice it to say that I am a registered independent. I am not a Democrat or a Republican. I am officially registered no party affiliation. A little tip to the younger viewers out there who might just be getting ready to register to vote. This is something I learned in high school during a junior election, actually. There actually is a party registered in the United States referred to as the Independent Party. And in some cases, if you go to register to vote and you say that you want to register independent, you will be registered for the Independent Party. Fortunately, I mean, this junior election wouldn't have counted anyway, but the person working at this junior election poll took the chance to educate me and say that, if you know, are you saying that you want to register for the Independent Party or that you are an independent voter that's not a Democrat or Republican? And I said, well, that one. I don't want to be a Democrat or a Republican. And she said, okay, then you need to register as NPA, no party affiliation. And that means that you are a truly independent voter, not registered for any political party. And a little side tip, if you get sick of getting all sorts of political mail, change your affiliation to no party affiliation. I have never gotten a single piece of campaign mail anywhere I have lived because I have been a registered independent voter. I find that kind of funny. You think that that would be a group that would be heavily targeted by politicians, since Democrats and Republicans tend to have their minds made up, but I've never gotten a single thing. My parents are registered. I'm honestly not sure what party they are registered as, but they get plenty of political mail, and I never get a single piece of it, which is pretty nice. So yes, I am an independent voter, no party affiliation. My main reason for doing that is because I gained an early understanding through some really good government classes at my schools of what the Democrat and Republican system meant, and that each of them had a set of attached ideals. I didn't want to be held to people thinking that I believed a certain list of ideals just because just because I was registered for a certain party. I tell people this and they say, well, you don't have to, if you're registered as a Democrat, you don't have to vote Democrat. You can vote Republican if you don't like the Democrat. Or if you're registered as a Republican, you can vote Democrat if you don't like the Republican. And it's like, yes, I'm aware of that. But, you know, like I said, there's a list of beliefs that Democrats believe in. There's a list of beliefs that Republicans believe in. And I don't want anybody to even think, oh, he believes this, and this. He believes this, and this. And so people say, are you a Democrat or a Republican? I say, I'm an independent. What does that mean? Well, let me tell you, in private conversations, not YouTube videos, what I think about stuff. That's about all I'm comfortable saying at the moment. I will extend this. If you are personally curious, go ahead and message me on YouTube. And we can have a private conversation about that. And here's a quick little YouTube FAQ, because messaging people on YouTube is one of the most complicated things to do. It's very difficult to find. So I'll show you with some screen captures here. If you go to my channel page, youtube.com/GatorOnFire4Lord, if you go there, you have to go to About. Over here, you have to go to About. And on the About page, there will be a link that says send a message to, or something to that effect. That will be like an email to me. I will be notified and I can respond. If you're curious about my political beliefs or ever have any other kind of questions for me that you don't want to ask in the public forum of the comments, go ahead and send me a message. Otherwise, like I always encourage you guys to do, leave comments down below if you don't mind them being public. I answer those just as much, and I really appreciate getting them. So comments or messages, either one, and let me know if you have any questions. I want to end this video by just encouraging you guys once again to register to vote and vote in elections. And I know that might sound a little weird because November 4th is gone, the election is already passed. But it's still very important. And now, while you're thinking about it, if you're not registered to vote and you're of age and you can do that, now is a great time to do that, so that by the time the election rolls around, you don't even have to think about it. You just get it bang, 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 done. There's a reason they put voter's registration and like updating your voter's registration address on the list of things when you move. It's just something you should take care of as soon as possible so that it's out of your mind, because you can't just go and sign up to vote and then vote. There's a process of verifying your identity. See you later, Squeak. There's a process of verifying your identity that takes some time from when you register to vote. There are various different websites about the voting registration process, and those will show you the deadlines in your area that you have to register to vote by to be eligible to vote in an election. So, we're 2 years out from the next major election. That, of course, will be the presidential election in 2016. So just go ahead and get it taken care of now. Get it done so that you'll be ready for that in 2016. Be part of the process. Every vote counts. I know it doesn't feel that way when even the closest races come down to like 10 or 12,000 votes or something. But, every vote is important, because even those 12,000 votes are 12,000 individual people. You need to be a part of the process. And the main thing that I say about elections, and this is a deep personal belief of mine, if you do not vote, you cannot complain. If you have problems with the way the country is being run, with the decisions that the leaders are making, if you did not vote, you do not have a right to complain, because you did nothing to try to change it. People who voted for somebody and are now disagreeing with the way that they're running things now that they've been elected, you can complain about that. Or if you didn't like a person and you didn't vote for them and they won anyway and they're not doing a good job, you can say, well, I knew that, that's why I voted for the other guy. But if you didn't vote, you have no right to complain. I mean, unless, of course, you're not able to vote in some way, but such advancements are being made in making sure that you can vote. There are absentee ballots. There are touch screens at the polling places, and special provisions for people who are handicapped or disabled in some way. You're really running out of excuses. I do firmly believe that one day, when we can firm up internet security to a greater degree, that we will have internet voting, or even voting by telephone maybe, or by internet. because I think that would be the most convenient, and I think that once we do reach that day, you will see voting totals skyrocket, because I mean, take a look. If you want to get a little depressed about the state of society, try to find the total voting numbers. If I find them at some point before this video is published, I'll put them up here. Otherwise, I'll cut that part out. Find the total voting numbers for this election and compare them to the number of people that voted in the American Idol finals or something. You know, it's a bad comparison, you know. But that's because people can do that online and at home, and they don't have to take time out of their day to go somewhere. But that is not an excuse. You know, take 5 minutes out of your day. I'm pretty sure that it is the law that even if you have a job, your employers must give you time off to go and vote. Even if you work like 9 to 5, like the standard normal type of a job, most polling places are open until 7 o'clock. My polling place was open until 7 o'clock, you know, so there's a very good chance that you'll be able to. And again, even if that wouldn't work out for you, then know that in advance and get an absentee ballot. There's really no excuse. Vote! All right, that little rant on national politics went on a bit longer than expected, but in all honesty, it did help me add some length to this video because the Blackout story was shorter than I thought. That is going to go ahead and wrap things up. I'd like to thank you guys, as always, so much for watching. I am going to try to at least get Almost Interesting coming out on a more regular basis, if not something better specifically scheduled. But again, this blog is about my life, you know, and it's kind of when things pop into my head. So at the moment, it's just kind of when I feel strongly enough talking about something like the Blackout story and, as it turned out, national politics. As I said before, feel free to leave comments right down below if you have any questions or comments on this video. And since there was an issue of politics in this video, if you don't feel comfortable leaving comments that can be seen by everybody, go ahead and send me a message like I gave you instructions in the video, and we can have a private conversation about it. Make sure to like the video, and if you're new, please subscribe. I do vlogs, I do Power Rangers videos, food tastings, and other various things. My channel's becoming very widely defined, and I like that, as I've said before. And finally, I'd appreciate it if you guys would take a look at a couple of my other videos here by clicking the blue chair space right above my shoulders. That'll show you some of the other videos I do, and I'd appreciate it if you give those a watch as well. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.